Welcome to the second dog day. Okay, day 12. We thought the dog days, by we I mean of course I thought the dog days were a thing of the past with the new dynamic spawning hordes, and thus I was out just minding my own beeswax, chopping down a tree not very far from here. I thought I was away from the town. I thought I was fairly safe until 5 dogs, zombie dogs, came upon me. Zombie dogs which run faster than you now. So, most of today is honestly just going to be me mining. We need clay to build the farm plots, so we'll be working on that. But going out and risking dying to the dogs is just not worth it. Right? The point is to try to, not die. And I don't like that first death, and the last thing I should do is be like, let's go do the thing that got me killed again. Unless it's like a POI that we're seriously trying to beat as a challenge or something. In that case, going back after dying is just, trying to figure out ways to beat it. That's different from, hey, if we just go get killed by dogs randomly again, then that's that. I assume I'm going to die at some point in the future. I'd like to minimize it as little as possible. So, but let's talk about difficulty. So, games sometimes increase difficulty by doing 2 things. The first is that enemies do more damage. The second is that enemies have more health. Now, this can then lead to breakpoints that exist, right? Like a sniper rifle that can one-shot somebody on a lower difficulty might leave them with a 10% health on a higher difficulty, which means you need a second shot or something else. So that has a big change on the actual way that you play, in effect. It requires you to either shake things up or handle things differently. Then on the flip side, right, it has to do with what kind of damage you can take. You might say, what's the point of investing in armor if I never take more than if let's say zombies did 3 damage a hit and didn't hit you very often, right? Well, you might say, what's the point of even having armor in that case? Now, say the zombies did 30 damage a hit, but armor could reduce it to, 5, then all of a sudden armor looks a lot more appealing because you go from losing a huge chunk of health per hit to, not losing much at all. But these, in some cases, combine, but not always. Like, for example, when we're fighting random zombies out there, usually the damage the zombies do doesn't matter. I mean, if the zombies one-shot me, that would not be ideal, obviously. But even if the zombies one-shot me, most of the time that's irrelevant because they don't hit you, right? The goal is avoiding the hits. What does matter in that case is how much damage they can take, because it also means it's less having to dodge their attacks, and you can knock them down sooner and kill them faster with like a club or whatever. And this goes doubly true for people who are using mostly ranged weapons. Because they're just staying way away from the enemy, and it's like, well, I hope I have enough ammo, and I shoot accurately enough, and have bonuses to headshot damage and the like. So, that's why they're called bullet sponges, right? Like, you're not in danger of dying, you just need enough ammo to deal with it. So, how does this relate to zombie dogs and specifically? Well, since zombie dogs are faster than the player by 50% now, again, that's a change I noticed, and I was curious how I got hit while running at top speed away, because they did not used to be faster than the player. It used to be basically the same speed, so as long as you had stamina, you could outrun them. Barely, but you could outrun them. Where was I going with this? Right, so basically the zombie dogs are going to hit you. So say a zombie dog charges me, right? I'm going to be overly cautious on setting up support pillars here, because this is our outer wall area. And I do not want to collapse anything. So, a zombie dog charges you. It's, unlike a lot of other zombies, it's going to hit you. Right? Unless, you can kill it before it's on top of you. But in this case, they ran at us full speed, surprised me. So, the whole kill it before it reaches you is not on the table at that point. So, therefore, basically, you're now trading blows with the zombie dog, right? You can't outrun it. It's do or die, you versus it. So, on the normal difficulty, I'm going to put in some numbers that are approximate here. So basically, on the current normal difficulty, well, compared to the normal difficulty, zombies do about 2.5 times the damage to you, and you do about 2.5 times damage less to them, is what difficulty 5 means. So, to put that in perspective, It's like saying on normal difficulty, you do, let's say you do 20 damage to the, let's say you both have 100 health, right? On normal difficulty, you do 20 damage to them, and they do 10 damage to you, let's say. Which means that if you're fighting a dog in melee and you just smack it, it takes you 5 hits to kill it, the dog hits you 5 times back, you lose half of your health fighting a dog, right? But you know what? Let's lower the dog's health to 50, let's say. No, let's say even say to 40. Okay, so you smack the dog twice, the dog smacks you twice. You lose 20 health fighting the dog. Not ideal, not the end of the world. So then let's go up to the difficulty we're currently on, right? Which is where, again, it's not actually these numbers, but it's close enough for the point of this comparison. So now, you do, instead of dealing 20 damage, now you deal 8 damage, which now means you need 7 hits, right? Is that right? Yeah, 8 damage times 2.5 would be 20. Okay, so instead of needing 2 hits, you need 5 hits. Yeah, you need 5 hits. Still waking up. Okay, so you need 5 hits to kill the dog now, which, again, 2.5 ratio what we expect. However, the dog has gone from dealing 10 damage to you to 25 damage to you, right? So, this means the dog, instead of dealing 20 damage to you, before it dies, is now going to do 125 damage to you. The dog literally deals 5 times the amount of damage to you, because you're not going to be able to really avoid its hits, and it takes you longer to kill it, and it hits harder, right? So that's effectively a 5-fold difficulty increase by playing on Survivor compared to normal. And that is a crazy amount. That is a crazy amount. And again, ways to deal with this, right? Basically, I don't know if they should both increase by that same amount. I mean, we're managing to do okay so far, but that's a poor way of handling difficulty because, again, it leads to this whole thing where versus normal zombies, you're handling it just fine. Then you find something like the pack of dogs and you just die instantly, right? Because they just do, if the zombies did more damage to you, but you did the same amount, they took the same amount of effort for you to kill, then, you know, basically it's more of a you really can't mess them to get hit, and dogs are very, very lethal. But you can still kill the dogs quickly enough to minimize damage, hopefully. But it's basically compounding, and normally this isn't noticed, right? A lot of the time you don't notice this difference. That's the other part of it. You only notice this difference in something like dogs. I guess we kind of have a tunnel going east now, but this was the north wall, right? So yeah, that's not really helpful anyway. Wasn't that the north wall? Yeah. So I'm not going to try to build a tunnel directly away from here. We may be hitting the edge of the iron vein over here. I don't know how much further it's going to go. Yeah, so basically, the game is, we went from taking 20 damage to 125 damage. So sorry, it's not 5, it's more like 6 times as dangerous, 6 times the difficulty. And that, again, doesn't really work well combining with dogs that are like guaranteed to hit you and a swarm of them that can attack you out of nowhere any minute during the day. So if you're wondering why I'm hiding in here versus going out there, it's because the dogs are 6 times as lethal effectively compared to normal difficulty, and you can't outrun them, and unless you're like armored up with a machine gun or a magnum, I don't know if it's like possible to survive a dog attack like that. At least not on this difficulty. On normal difficulties, you might be able to hit like each dog twice with a club, and you'd probably get torn apart a bit, but at a minimum you'd take a number of them down, even if you died. But here, again, we had a pipe pistol. It's not a good pistol. Still, 33 damage. It's nothing to sneeze at. And we shot the zombie at least 4 successful hits, reviewing the footage. Including, I think, 1 or 2 headshots. Possibly even 3, depending on how the headbox is defined. And it didn't even take 1 of the dogs down, right? So, This does look like it'll go on for a bit. Which is fine for me. How are we doing over here? This is our last point in fortitude, for a while at least. The next point we get will be living off the land. So hopefully, by the time we have, what, 3 bacon and eggs left? Yeah, we're basically out of bacon and eggs. I am just going to dig down here at bedrock here. This is fine. We've confirmed there's iron up ahead, so I'm going to keep moving. But yeah, that's my spiel on why a pack of dogs running up to you. Like, again, if there was one dog that appeared on day 5 and then there's like 2 dogs on day 12 or whatever, then that would be fine, I think. Because the idea is that you have to scale up and what you need to be prepared to deal with. But the fact that I think it's just like those 5 dogs, you just get those at any given day and they are just, you can't and it used to be, if they attack you, you can just try outrunning them, maybe shake some of the followers, get back to the base, or find some place safe to hide. But you have to like have you almost have to have a safe spot prepped, and you have to be like right next to it to be able to ready to run and jump up immediately. So in theory, we could like be building around the side of the base, and if we hear the dogs, we run for it. The problem is that the dogs hit hard enough that I don't think that's a good idea. I'm worried that, you know, by the time we hear them, if they're on top of us, because they are so fast now, they don't give warning barks like when they're 50 meters away. Like, if they were howling or something, that's fine, but they're like stealth dogs. Well, all dogs are good boys. These are not the goodest of dogs. So there's my spiel about difficulty and the whole, not only are they bullet sponges, but they're also incredibly lethal problem for an enemy that you can't outrun and you have to fight and can sneak up on you without warning. And instead of being it's closing the gap, I really need to kill it before it reaches me, it's like, hey, it reached you. Good luck, you're probably dead. This is something I am not as fond of. Maybe reaching the edge of this here. Which is fine again. How much iron we got? Got about 14,000 iron so far, so that's good. Remember that each iron block here we destroy is enough for about 5 iron spikes, basically. Which is why we need so much. And we need to obviously smelt it all in. So I'm probably going to go dump this into the forge in a moment, because we should make sure that's smelting down properly and output in forged iron, so we can be crafting the iron spikes today, because they take a while to craft. Eventually getting like a workbench to help speed up the crafting flow and some of the stuff that takes a while will prove helpful. And of course we're mining all day. And over here I'm not as worried about digging in random spots, right? Because now we're past the perimeter of the base. This is much safer. Here it doesn't matter. Here it's just out in the world. We don't have structures depending upon it. It's much safer here. Okay, let's get back and make sure we have iron topped off. Eventually we'll make sub-basements in the lake here. Or maybe we'll start working on that later. Got a lot of projects to do. We have plenty of clay for now. So let's slap that in. And we need more forged iron. We're going to make more iron spikes. Okay, now let's look at the farm plots. We actually have this clay that we can use. So, 4 wood, 12 nitro tire, 50 clay, 5 rotting flesh. that costs half now because of this, supposedly. So clay soil, check. Rotting flesh, check. Nitrate powder. We don't have enough nitrate. Okay. New goal. Get more nitrate. We have 103 rotting flesh, which means we'll be able to make about 20 farm blocks, which means we will need like 1,000 clay, yeah. And we'll need lumber. How much lumber do we have? 184. That should be enough to cover that. Okay, so we need more nitrate. We'll need to get more nitrate to make the farm blocks. That's about all we can do. Now, if we can get up one more level through just mining today, we'll be able to get that final farm thing. I like this base. It's getting enough spikes with the perimeter is obviously going to be a pain, like the double walls and everything. I probably wouldn't be building this if you didn't get so much XP for upgrading blocks. That's true. I just tried to add like a third layer, or just really focus on getting out spikes. But given how you get a lot of experience for upgrading, then back to the iron mines. For the next, close to an hour. We should hopefully build up enough of a stockpile here. We don't need to worry about iron mining for a while. That's my goal. And as you can see, it's going to take 40 minutes just to finish crafting those iron spikes. Obviously, we're going to have to repair our stone axe way before then. This is a lot of iron. This is excellent. And this is a good position. You see, we're definitely way outside, so mining here is preferable. But we're still at bedrock, which means nothing's going to hear us up on the surface world. And then tomorrow, we'll need to start that nitrate vein. We don't really need that much for the blocks. For making 20 blocks, we need 240 nitrate, right? Because it's 12 each. Which we can get in like 2 or 3 blocks of nitrate. That'll be easy. But we'll need more clay in general, too. But, again, I guess, I don't even know, like, maybe if you had points in, like, machine guns, and you got, like, an AK-47 by now, maybe you might have a chance against the dogs. But I'm not even confident about that. Like, those things are deadly. And can take a punishment because of... They used to be more like glass cannons, right? The dogs are really dangerous, so they reach you, but they also have a lot less health and are easier to kill. And instead they're like, no, we're just going to make them like Blitzkrieg tanks. They're super fast and super deadly because of the difficulty modifier. So, and the whole make sure you shoot them before they reach you part goes out the window when there's no way to like detect them really in advance, because just a pack of them just beelines for you, because it just gets spawned that way. So we do 34 damage per hit, right? You know what, this has me wondering actually. I need leather and duct tape. Do we have leather and duct tape? Given how we're just solely mining iron right now, I am tempted to try making an iron pickaxe and testing it again. I am tempted. So we need duct tape, which we have 0 of, and we need leather, which we have plenty of. Okay, so let's get some bones. So now we should be able to make glue here. about 2 minutes to cook all that up. Which is, I think, the main thing the bones are used for, right? Okay, can a sham eventually, but... yeah, for now it's pretty much glue. Did we get the ability to create a hunting knife? I think we might have, but it is quality 1. Whether that's worth it compared to the quality 3, I'm not sure. Wish you could see the stats on it before you actually unlocked it. Get some cloth. Duct tape's quick to craft at least. Let's see how this goes. It may be worth it. Again, the reason it may be worth it is we are specifically only... if we are mining stone, where we do like 48 damage per swing, I would say probably not worth it, but our damage is reduced by like a third here. Which means the iron pickaxe may be going from about a 10% improvement to more like a 40 or 50% improvement. Or something like that. And that is a lot more. Huh. So again, right now, let's see. We'll do some science. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should add up to 18. Right, because it's 3 hits per this. That's 12. It takes 18 hits, and given we attack at 105 attacks per minute, right? Which means that per second we get 1.75 attacks. We need 18 attacks. So it takes... shouldn't be, yeah, so it's not 1.75 times 18, it's 18 divided by 1.75, like that result looks wrong. Okay, so right now it takes us about 10 seconds to go through a block, which we can probably verify. Where's the timer app here? Stopwatch, alright, here we go. That was about 12.24 seconds. I don't know what the discrepancy is there was, but interesting. Good enough. So it takes about 12 seconds to, maybe the seconds are slightly off, because I noticed that these hours are really more like an hour and 9 minutes each. And so if you add 10% time onto that, then that gets closer. Maybe the seconds aren't 1-to-1. But it takes about 12.24 seconds, right? So let's call it 12 seconds to destroy iron with this. Which means we can destroy like 3 more iron blocks before the iron pickaxe is done. And the iron pickaxe, of course, required 60 forged iron. Oh, never mind, it's broken. Pickaxe is done. Alright, we're now going to give this a shot. So, the stone axe does 36.5 for 8 stamina, right? Which is about a 4.5 ratio. The pickaxe modified does under a 4 ratio, but still close to a 4 ratio, I guess. So now we're going to check out and see how this goes here. So it takes 5 hits to go through that. So then if we start this, okay, that was not actually 5 hits to go through it. Let's check this again. We do 117 per hit. So it takes 6 swings to do it. So we got trying to kill 2 blocks. So it looks like we are mining significantly faster here. Did not mean to cause that to collapse, obviously. Let's see how long it takes to go through 5 blocks. About 30 seconds. So each block, it is swinging about 1 per second, which aligns with this. Okay, so we are mining twice as fast now with the iron pickaxe, and if we could do a little bit more damage, we could do 3 more damage per swing. This would be massively better. We'd increase our mining speed by like 20%. We are just under that threshold. So that's unfortunate. I think we can actually also use this when attacking the stone, yeah. Or the sand. That is a positive part. Okay, so for iron mining specifically, this does appear to be at roughly twice the rate. But again, it wouldn't be twice the rate, it would be more like... Oh, and we're out of stamina because we also... Yeah, that's the other thing. The stamina usage is a concern with this thing. Which is why we need Sexual Tyrannosaurus. Conclusion, when mining metal specifically, that the stone axe has a penalty against, the iron pickaxe is in fact significantly better. And as long as we do at least as long as we're doing over 100 damage. We could do 3 more damage per swing from like an iron breaker or something else that gives a bonus. This would get improved a significant amount. We're just under a major breakpoint. Let's go ahead and eat as well, shall we? Okay, so a stone axe is perfectly fine, and we could get by without using it. As you saw, we were still gathering shit tons of iron and everything. But, conclusion, it is in fact worth making the iron pickaxe for mining metal in particular. But you still need to get Sexual Tyrannosaurus up, or you're going to run out of stamina constantly. And this is basically going to be burning through more food as well. Right, because in terms of the ratios, it used to be, it was about 4.5 to 1, and here it's less than 4 to 1. So we are burning through more stamina, we're therefore burning through more food. But again, the rate seems to be about twice as much, so... The stone axe did like 60 damage per second. This is doing more like, I guess, 100 or so damage per second. If we can rely on some of these numbers. That's, I guess, the other question, right? How much can you rely on the numbers versus testing? And this does have the structural brace mod, right, which is decreasing its degradation. So that's a big help as well. I don't know if that affects the number, its actual durability number, or if that's, or if it just has like a 25% chance to not degrade per swing or something. Or if they literally just are tracking it with like a float behind the scenes rather than an integer, meaning a decimal number. That's another possibility. Let's make sure we don't lose track of where we are as well. The world is splitting apart there. That was weird, eh? We're well outside where our fort is, so that really shouldn't be a problem. We should not be risking messing anything up here. Okay, so the good news is to be able to do 20 farm plots. The bad news is we do not have nearly enough seeds for that. And we will need more rotting flesh to do more, of course. These weird artifacts under the ground are interesting to observe. Only redoing 3 more damage, but that requires either a, and if we had a quality 6 pickaxe, I think that which is what I had the other game, that's when I was like, yeah, I'm doing enough. So if I had that, or if I had a mod that gave a bonus versus iron or something, that's what we would be looking at here. So where do we get, like this right here is basically that. Okay. I wonder why we're getting those graphical glitches. I mean, I assume they're glitches and not like tears in reality. If there were tears in reality, that'd be awkward. We're definitely going to need more repair kits, though, if we're going to be using the iron pickaxe. And again, if it wasn't for the fact that we're mining iron specifically, it would be a lot harder to justify this. Or rather, the fact that we're getting the penalty against hitting it. The knowledge that we're so close to 5-shotting it, and there's nothing we can do for right now. There's no more minor 69ers to gather. There's not... Can we find like a percent or two from someplace? Answer, probably not. However, we do not have enough lumber to fill all of these in, if you're curious. We need more lumber, which we will not be able to get until tomorrow. let's come back over here, shall we? So you see that we clear these with what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of 6, but for these we would need to do 125 damage to 4-shot them. But if we found like a stone and iron breaker mod and we could install those on the pickaxe, then that would be worth it. I still think this is underwhelming compared to the stone axe in terms of the difference that actual iron tools should make. Like, now that we're mass farming iron, I would, but if I wasn't gathering so many thousands of iron, I would not bother with the iron tools. If we weren't spending the entire day mining, I would be like, yeah, not worth the investment. I'm gonna head upstairs and check on the forge. I don't remember how much wood we left in it. I want to make sure it's not going to run out of fuel here. Have another 16 minutes on how long the stone traps will take. Let's go check on it, and then we'll come back and drink more red tea. I'm going to go so far as to say that let's just close this off even. Why not? Why not? Oh, I think we finally attracted a screamer. It's actually not great. And there's just a deer out there. Did you just disappear? Did you, like, go inside my base or something? Okay, we're gonna have to risk this and go out and deal with these zombies. I hope we don't get a pack of wolves right now. I don't know what happened with other mobs there. We're not even going to try to repair right now. Keep an eye open for those fighters. Was it us mining that called the screamer? I'm not even sure. We're out of stamina due to having too low hydration, so definitely not a situation I want to be at with the wolves around. Okay. Oh, here I was like, maybe we can do something with this, and it's like, no, we're actually... we can scrap that, I guess. We'll put the sand someplace else. Football helmet. Slight mobility decrease. Not worth it for right now. Alright, well, that was unfortunate. So we have officially started attracting screamers. I don't know if it's because of our it was the fact that we're mining with a pickaxe drawing their attention. So we didn't get this for a very long time with stone axe, right? So does the iron pickaxe make a lot more effective noise? I don't know the answer to that, but it is a little worrying. Did I really get 32 bones for one deer? I don't even know. $36 minutes for that. Ammunition materials, lead, bulk materials. Iron we're getting plenty of here. Store all that over there. I don't really ever see us using the football helmet, but I will hold on to it for right now, just in case something changes my mind. We got that. I'm not necessarily going to turn these into repair kits yet. Well, I might do some. I'd like at least 3 repair kits. Let's do that. And spikes trapped. Hopefully that's okay at least. Keep some duct tape over there. Let's keep this. Let's keep 6 duct tape on hand. And we're fine on the repair kits for right now. Wait, do we have iron stored here? Yeah, so let's come here. Make sure we have a double 6,000 stack there. Forge will burn for a while, so we're okay there. I don't know what it is that made the screamer appear there, but it's really an impetus for saying we really need to get the spikes out so the screamers die on the spikes. So first thing tomorrow, we need to dig out and put at least like 2 rows of spikes. 99. Okay, we'll have enough to finish this here. By the time we're standing over here, we are officially outside of base range. Yep. Okay. And again, digging up won't cause any harm. stamina problems. We're down to 2 bacon and eggs. Is the larger concern. But if we're going out and exploring more, maybe we'll be able to find more eggs. And again, we have enough strength points that we can unlock the advanced recipes. Those advanced recipes just require seeds. So trying to find seeds in houses is going to be a big goal coming up here. Every swing is worth like 25 experience here. Except against the sand, which is less. Like, I was expecting screamers before. I'm kind of surprised we got one now of all times. And I don't know why, but again, that's an impetus for we need to get up. And got spikes and everything. So let's think about this. The perimeter is now 16 by 16 on the forge base, right? So that means we'll want basically 16 times 8, right? So that's going to be 32, 64, 128. So we're going to need 128 spikes, plus we need another 16. So we'll need 144 spikes to set up a 2-layer thick of iron spikes here. We can discuss expanding that out later. As we make a cavern like this, we should eventually add some supports. Again, we don't have anything on the surface relying on it, which makes it less urgent, but still. I didn't think it was going to fall down, but lost some iron there. Moment of silence for a fallen iron, please. Even when you're a cavern like this, which isn't too big so far, but a few support pillars can again make everything hunky-dory. We don't want the iron to land on our heads because we found out it takes like half your life away. Not really sure how or why, but bad news, sir. Like a 2-pound rock, or even a 10-pound rock, fell like, 10 inches onto your armored head. I don't know. I guess when you put it that way, it actually does sound kind of dangerous, doesn't it? It's probably not gonna kill you, but good smart. Might have to move up soon. By up, I mean literally like up, right? Because the iron vein is exhausted close to the bedrock. Mining away. Let's go make sure there's not another screamer up there. Maybe it'd be a good idea to let the forge sit. Like, if we have the screamer spawn on a normal day, that's not such a big deal. We just smack down the zombies that appear. There's no way we're going to actually be able to make all this before we have to repair our pickaxe, but let it cool down until morning. Make sure that no more screamers pop up while we're down here. Again, I felt relatively safe because we hadn't attracted a screamer yet. Then, of course, we did attract a screamer, so. Drink up me hearties, yo. All we're doing is mining down here. There's no way that should attract a screamer, though. We have enough forged iron now. We should be able to make a 2-layer thick of iron spikes, which should take care of any number of screamers for quite some time. So after this, we have our farm set up. It's nighttime. So we'll get the farm set up tomorrow, and the spikes set up tomorrow. Then we get ready for day 14, where we have the structure completed, and we have a bunch of extra spikes around it, and especially of iron spikes. And then we've officially basically gone from just get our footing set to we can start going on the offensive here. And we'll start trying to aim towards being able to get cement mixers and workbenches and start for going more advanced things. I'm going to destroy this because I'm afraid if I don't it'll collapse when I destroy the sand. And of course, remember, we did spend those first 2 days getting things like the helmet, flashlight mod. If we didn't have that, this would be like impossible down here. Right, we'd be in this. We'd need a bunch of torches, which would consume other resources. Yeah, we're down to 1 more bacon and eggs. And then to start worrying about what to do about food. And eventually building even a few support pillars here will help. We'll need more lumber for that. And I'm not really concerned about it right now. I mean, literally the entire cabin would have to collapse, and I don't think this is big enough for that to happen yet. Although I suppose it would be an interesting project at some point. Figure out how, you know, X by X you can make a cavern. Or X by Y, I guess, would be. Basically just keep making a square cavern until it collapses on your head. "38 minutes. Oh, that reminds me, I wanted to check this. So it says 748 durability. Still says that, so I think this is just like, either it's a 25% chance not to lose durability, or there's a floating point integer, actually. Leveled up. Hooray, so now we have maxed out living on the land. And if you want to complain about the whole learn by doing thing, right, and like how it doesn't make sense that me mining here would make me better at harvesting wild crops, then my question is, you know, we can't actually like reasonably even plant the crops due to the farming system until we have these points, right? If you plant them otherwise, you like don't even get it back enough to justify planting them. So I don't know how you would reasonably make that work in this context. Oh, hello, 150 iron, okay. We picked up thousands more of iron, so that part is good. Sometimes it's difficult to tell which block is which here, honestly. Underwater, we can drink more. We've burned through the buff. Outside by a reasonable margin. What happens is the sand can't support anything, so if the only thing left holding up is sand, then the rest collapses down. Nothing collapses on our head here. Be ready to dodge. From here on out, we should be able to start putting points into the intellect as mentioned. So, in order to get workshop and cement mixer, we need intellect level 4. In order to get chemistry stations, we need intellect level 3. A vehicle does not really matter for now. Like, we're not going far enough to worry about vehicles. So, that'll be a future concern. I think I'm going to mine until the end of this efficient digestion buff. Then we'll go upstairs, we'll harvest the mushrooms, and we'll resume to working on the sub-basement for a bit. We have over 24,000 iron here. So I'm hoping we'll be good on iron for a bit. Do more tests with the stone axe versus iron pickaxe for this. And remember, we are paying a price for this increased gathering capability because we are spending more stamina as well, and food is a concern. So yes, we get more, but there's literally a stamina cost too. And without the sexual tyrannosaurus thing, I think they basically can't keep up with mining anyway, even with natural regeneration. let's try to see if we can make it an even 3,000. This is easier just honestly to keep drinking this. Let's keep the buff up for now. We can easily get way more. We can easily get way more red tea. Now we harvest wild chrysanthemums at a 3-time rate. We'll be able to plant it for our own personal use. Like, water isn't our issue. Our issue is food. And like, even when we manage to kill a deer, it feeds you for less than a day. As somebody pointed out, and they're like, you know, normally a deer could feed a family for like a month or something. And here it doesn't even last a day. Of course, you can harvest it in, you know, way less time, and that is true as well. I mean, it's like, it's a game, it just feels bad. You know, you found a deer and it's not worth very much at all. Stupid sand. He is starving, oh no. Seriously, we're down to our last bacon and eggs here, so that is actually a, well, we need to do something about this type moment. One short, we're like a few short of another 6. We've now officially mined more than the entire forge can fit. It can only fit 30,000 of any given resource into it. Kinda makes you feel proud, doesn't it? We've now outmined in like less than a night what we can stuff into the entire forge at maximum capacity. Repair that, but there's no reason to wait. Okay, so now how long until we finish one of these? Been trying to wait. Okay, well, she tore through. How long until the next iron trap is done? Okay, whatever, this is taking too long. But I'm gonna be able to like one-shot the zombies. I'm not gonna risk going out there. So we have iron for days now. Alright, we got 12 mushrooms, which we can turn into... Well, that's unfortunate. I guess they said there's a 50% chance of retrieving mushroom spores back from it, so we have managed to get 2 mushroom spore seeds again, okay, and then 2 extra mushrooms, but that's obviously not great. So the net effect of that is we got 2 mushrooms. So, in theory, if we keep getting more and more, eventually we could do something with that, but... So you are guaranteed... Yeah, so now, if we harvest the blueberry, we're guaranteed to get at least 6 back, which means at a minimum we can replant it, but it might take 5 harvest cycles for it to get to the point where we can plant the second blueberry seed. But apparently there's supposed to be a 50% chance upon harvesting it to get a seed back. And that's the key to the growth. Whether we actually see that or not, I no longer know at this point. Okay, let's do some testing here. So we know... I don't even know what I'm hitting here. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, or 5. Obviously it takes 5 swings there. And if we do this, it takes longer. So here we go. Let's see. How long it takes to break through 2 blocks. Seven seconds for the first block. So it took about 15 seconds to break through 2 blocks, so 7.5 average seconds, approximately. And then if we do this, we see that they break through 2 blocks. So it still is faster. Okay, so if it's about twice as fast for the Death Balloon, this is like 33% faster, and it's already made at this point. Stamina cost is a concern, but let's just keep it. Alright, we're about to hit day... Yeah, so that goes there. So we need nitrate, and we need to put up spikes. Those are kind of our 2 goals here for today. Well, let's go share the good news. See you on the flip side.